Yo, yo, yo. Alright, man, it's Surf. I'm just gonna give y'all my thoughts on, what happened today on the Diddy trial, the verdict, and just overall my thoughts. It's gonna be a real quick live. I'm not gonna hold y'all niggas up too long, but you know, I so I was watching it a little earlier while I was working and whatnot, going back and forth, and I was in belief that he was gonna, get free, like, not guilty. Um, the trial to me was more or less about a dirty laundry being aired out. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, fucked up relationship. He just, neither one of them knew how to treat each other. It was drug infused. So, shit happened. You know what I'm saying? And, Diddy did the kind of things that he did. I'm not, saying that was cool or whatever the case may be. But overall, I felt like she was in on it too. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was enjoying the fruits of the labor that they was putting in with each other with these freak offs. As Diddy being a man, it's always gonna fall on him being the leader or being the one that's coercing her to do more or pressuring her, and she's just a little old young woman who don't have control over her life and in fear and all this bullshit. And I think that was bullshit. I think she was just as much as a partner, a co-defendant as Diddy was. You know, the shit was overall crazy anyway. Like, putting niggas, uh, semen on your nipples and shit like that is just that was just like a AO moment. You feel me? So, um, but either way, I still didn't look at that shit as like some racketeering bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, none of that got nothing to do with a RICO case. You feel me? Like, overall, the jury was just sitting down. Hold on, let me go back. This was basically to me like a humiliation ritual. Everybody knows, whether they know it or not, he pissed off somebody or somebodies, and and this is what happened. This was the consequences of his actions. He had to flush out damn near $60 million. Who knows how much else he got to flush out on civil cases? You feel me? But luckily, he had the money to get a powerful lawyer team to get him through this bullshit. But the charges to me was all like bullshit. Like, none of it was like RICO charge that dealt with like a RICO racketeering or anything. Bad Boy was not a criminal enterprise, even though they try to make it seem that way because of the name. But he was literally he's really like a musical mogul. Like, I mean, he gave us some of the best music in the 1997, 98, 99, just overall timeless artists. I mean, Lil, you feel me? The Locks, Ada Kid Styles, P and them niggas, Mace, Biggie, you know what I'm saying? Like Black Rob, Total, you feel me? Like, who else? Like, G Dep had a fire ass song or whatever the case may be. He was a great producer, just great sampling and all that shit. Just like, it was real music. Like, it wasn't on. Yeah, even Diddy had some good music too that he put out too. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit that he did when, him and Jennifer Lopez had broke up and he went through that whole bit. And just so on and so forth. So, I think it's familiar black man that came from nothing and rose to prominence. He had it all: liquor, music, you know, great face in the industry, parties, billionaire. And he crossed the line somewhere. It's kind of like on some mafia, shit. Like, niggas is friends with you, they fuck with you until you fuck up. You know what I'm saying? And you cross the line, but that's what happens when you break the oath type shit. You feel me? Like, all his industry friends, Jay-Z, et cetera, et cetera. Nobody stood by his side. Only niggas that came up and stood by his side publicly is Kanye and Ray J. You know what I'm saying? Kid Cudi whole ass went up on there and basically snitched. It was like niggas, everybody was just doing everything they can to just throw this man under the ground. So I think it was good, and I'm happy to see that he triumphed. Not saying that he's a good person, not saying that he was a good person then when he was doing those things, the freak offs and all that. But I do understand that when you're taking a lot of drugs, you're a highly sexual individual, high energy individual. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna seek out people that's gonna be on that level. And sometimes you get to a point that where you be fucking so much that the shit don't even inspire you no more. Just to be with a woman naturally and just have that intimacy don't even work for you no more. I'm not saying for me. I'm just saying like I understand how if you do something too much, you become numb to it. You feel me? Like you get jaded. So that's what I think was really happening. And you know, he just took it too far, and he got with a bitch, Cassie, that was willing to take it far with him until she wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Until they was both in indulging, and then over time she became a victim of the indulgement. You know what I'm saying? And he continued not really understanding that she was now a victim. She was now feeling like a prisoner. You know what I'm saying? And everybody around her was taking her side, not knowing that, you know, they both came from this same perspective where they was willing to do these freak offs. And to come to find out, the freak offs was just them two. It was just them two and a hired prostitute, male prostitute. You know what I'm saying? Like some weird shit, but that's just what it is. That's what the jury had to sit through. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the reason why that he got the not guilty verdict on all the racketeering charges is because of that. Like essentially this was just a fucked up relationship. Like I said, drug, fueled, and it just got out of hand. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like on some Rick James shit. That nigga was doing the same shit, doing all these drugs, fucking all these bitches, to the point to where he ended up kidnapping some hoe and keeping her at his house for days and days on drugs and shit till he ended up in court on some kidnapping shit the same way. You know what I'm saying? He actually went, I think he went to jail for that shit, but that's neither here or there. So that's my thoughts on it. I already knew that he was gonna get not found guilty over time. You know what I'm saying? But the two, I feel like, me personally, I feel like all that shit was not guilty. Because, not saying that he wasn't guilty for being a douchebag in relationship and a drug addict and just overly sexual and utilizing his power and money to have those situations happen over and over, but it had nothing to do with a RICO charge. It had nothing to do with a criminal enterprise. It has nothing to do with human trafficking, really kidnapping and all that shit. You gonna tell me that what he doing is so bad that this is the same shit that a lot of these white motherfuckers been doing for years? You think these motherfuckers ain't been traveling across states to pick up prostitutes and shit like that, fucking women and having all this, you know, eyes wide shut type shit party, Illuminati type parties and shit? Like, this ain't even nothing new. That's how I know that it was a humiliation ritual. He's still being humiliated, and and this is just the consequences for him taking that oath, quote unquote, that oath with these particular type groups of people. And when he fucked up, this is the type of penalty that you got to deal with. You know, and he just so happened to be a public figure, so it's gonna be out in the open. You know what I'm saying? And they use Cassie as a catalyst to do so. But yeah, I think it was more than. I'm not surprised that he's not found guilty on four of the or three of the charges. I think it should have been all five. But like I said, it's a humiliation ritual, so they had to hit him with two. But they hit him with the two lesser ones. You know, luckily the two lesser ones is not a RICO charge. It's not racketeering, so all his assets and everything like that is intact. He ain't got to worry about this shit. I'm sorry, y'all. It's getting dark. I'm up here on my rooftop with my pool and shit. But I just had to come up here and just speak to y'all for a minute. Yeah, so now they not even letting the motherfucker get out. They not even giving them bond. They acting like he a flight risk or some dumb shit. Like, where the fuck he gonna go? You know what I'm saying? Like, where he gonna go? He trying to get all the way out and free, like, before he can get from under this shit. Fuck, he gonna go somewhere and try to hide out for it? He already been found out guilty. You know, I think the smartest thing that his team done and the decisions they made was for him not to get on the stand and say anything, because I feel like if he would have got on the stand and said anything, it just would have just added fuel to the fire. He would have ended up shooting his own self in the foot, not because of anything he was really guilty of. It was just that they made him look like such a bad person. Even himself made himself look like a terrible person. Maybe he has been a terrible person, especially that tape and just all the little different things they was going through, that there was really nothing he could say. Everything he would have said would have just been seen on like an excuse to deny the fact that he had that of his terrible character. You feel me? So I think it was very intelligent for them not to say anything and just let it ride out, and then let's just get to this shit. I think it's fucked up. They ain't let him free yet, and they just gonna hold him until October till sentencing. But hopefully that they give him time served. Maybe they give him a year, some shit, time served, get the fuck out of here type shit. But yeah, that's just my take on it. You know what I'm saying? It's just some bullshit for real, for real. I hate to see any black man, black woman go through this shit. And this is just perpetuating what white motherfuckers and foreign motherfuckers think of us anywhere around the world. When you leave out of the United States, you really get to see if, possibly you will see or hear how these motherfuckers really think about black community in America. They think we all gangsters. We want to do is fuck and party, drugs, and all we care about is money and showing and wearing our money on us. You know what I'm saying? So I hate that shit had to happen like that, but it is what it is. Like I said, I just wanted to come on here and just talk to y'all real quick. It's a short live, and I wish y'all niggas the best. All right.